Hi everybody, it's Lori Bradley. It is October the 8th, Wednesday, right in the middle of the week, and we are here on day 8 of 31 for 31 projects in 31 days. We have done some Christmas, we have done some fall, we have done a Halloween or two, and we're rolling through the month. And today I worked on the next 3 cards. I was kind of proud of myself that I was working ahead and I wasn't, 20 minutes before my video deciding what I was going to do. So today we're going to make a season's greetings card. It is not typically the greeting that I normally use. I'm more of a Merry Christmas kind of girl, but I know that there are a lot of people who do holiday season cards, and so it's not just for Christmas. I'm going to use the Snowflake paper that I put away. I actually got out of control a little bit. I put away the Elegant Pine Snowflake paper. It might be on my other table over here. And so I'm going to show you that. My sample that I already made, because, I always make a sample beforehand because crafting on the fly for me would be dangerous. It would just be dangerous. And so I used one of the papers in that for my card, and then I'm going to use a different one for the second card that I'm going to make for you today. So you'll get to see 2 different, the same card, but just it'll look a little different because the color of the paper is different. So let's do it. Today's project is, like I said, it's going to use the traditional label stamp set, and we're going to use this Season's Greetings and the die cut that goes with it. This is a fun die cut. It's a banner, and these 2 actually fit right onto that banner. So you don't have to cut anything. You just cut it as is, and then there you go. I'm going to just start with that so that way I can get my ink out of the way. I'm going to use shaded Spruce ink, and you can see, hopefully you'll be able to see once I get it inked, that this greetings, the bottom word just goes right into that space. I have to scoot it closer to me just so I can see because my arms aren't that long. And it fits right into that curve. Super easy. That is, actually that's the only stamping that I have on this one right now. All right, if you are here today, let me know where you're watching from. I always like to know where people are coming from. And if you were a Merry Christmas or a Season's Greetings, which is your preferred Christmas sentiment or holiday season sentiment? Let me know what you prefer. All right, so I have, actually, I'm going to grab the paper really quick. I see it. The Elegant Pines, and there's multiple patterns, but they're all shades of green. I do love green, and so this, I think I love that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. And that I don't have the stamp set that goes with this because when I made my original order, I was like, oh, snowflakes. It's September. I'm not ready for snowflakes. But now that I'm ready for snowflakes, I need to, as my kids would say, chop chop and get onto that and get my snowflake sets. But aren't those pretty? Various shades of green. Pretty peacock, old olive, shaded spruce, garden green with some pecan pie mixed in there. And originally when I showed these, I was like, oh my goodness, that looks like cottonweed that's floating around. And someone complained, that's what it is. So it takes some help sometimes. All right, and then the little piece that I'm going to use today. Oh, one more. The little snowflakes that are made out of pine branches. Isn't that cute? And then the ones on the back. All right. Now that I've shown you the paper, because I wanted you to see all the different patterns, I have a white panel that's, actually I should have gotten 2. I need one of these for the inside because like I said, I believe it was yesterday, I always put a white panel on the inside of a card that's this dark because seeing the handwriting on there is pretty difficult. So I have my white panel, and then I have another shaded spruce piece that is 3 5/8 by 3 1/4. Is that right? 4 5/8. I said that wrong. 4 5/8 by 3 1/4. Don't worry, I will put these in the comments so you don't have to remember that right now. And then I have a piece of designer series paper that is 3 1/2 by 4. Now, the 3 1/2 by 4, I'm going to cut. And I'm going to cut that into 4 1-inch strips. Okay, so I'm just going to start on one side and I'm going to cut it on the 4-inch side. Otherwise, we won't get 4 strips. 1, 2, and this is my trimmer that needs a new blade. So that's my reminder to do that. And then 3 and 4 are together. All right, now, kind of important, let's keep those in order because when we put them on our card, we want that pattern to go across all 4 pieces, okay? Now, this is the hardest part. This is the hardest little piece of this that we've got. We're gonna lay these across our shaded spruce piece and space them, hopefully, evenly. If not, well, that's okay. We'll lay them on there. And I always think if I get a little too close and I've got extra space on one side, I'll just trim it off. That is my philosophy. I like to think I would get them straight, but. So just like that, we're gonna lay those flat like that. And I'm going to use my liquid glue. Now, it might be helpful for you, and I have to turn it just so I can see it with these grid lines. Might be helpful for you if you put it so that you can line up your lines to make sure your piece is straight. That's entirely up to you. Whatever works for you is totally fine. I'll put my glue not all the way to the edge, not all the, or the end, because it's going to not cover the whole thing. Does that make sense? You're gonna have a little bit of a hangover here. And that's why I use the liquid glue, so you can straighten it out. All right. I'm not seeing any comments today, so if you have something you want to share, my comments are not showing up. I want to make sure that I can see you guys. Pardon the ambulance. All right, well, if you are here, let me know. I might have to comment on the replay. Don't forget, tell me what your favorite, if you were a Merry Christmas or you were a Season's Greetings kind of greeter. And I appreciate that you're here, even though I can see a number, I just cannot see any comments or who you are. So I apologize, and I'm not even greeting anyone. I'm not indifferent to your presence. All right, so we've got our 4 strips, and it's about 1/8 of an inch, I think, between each piece. And for me, it just helps to line it up with that grid. So now we have this piece, okay? This one's just a tiny bit longer, so we can just lay that right on my trimmer. I'm gonna eyeball it so that I about the same width as the other one. There we go, that's better. That is better. Okay, so now for the front of our card, my white panel is going to be the background. But before I glue it down, I'm going to use the shaded spruce and gold, oh my goodness, what it's called, gold edge ribbon. It's beautiful. We're gonna use this again in another couple of days because I designed another card when I used this, but look, I tied a nice, neat bow. I'm not gonna use the bow for this one because it's too big, but I didn't wanna take that off. I just wanted to show you what a good job I did with my bow because it's so unusual. And I'm just gonna set that aside and use that for my next project, okay? Now, I'm going to just tape this on the back. And so let's wrap it around. I'm gonna wrap it right around the middle, and I'm gonna tape it on the back. And by tape, my favorite thing is Scotch tape, or the dollar store tape, or Target tape, or wherever you buy your gift wrap tape. That's what I like to do, how I like to put ribbon on the back of cardstock. It's just easier for me, and then I can get it lined up and stretch it so that it's tight and doesn't have lumps in it. That's not gonna show. Just like that. All right, now this piece is going to go on there, but I'm gonna go ahead and glue it down so that we have a flat surface, because that's way easier to do it that way than if you put dimensionals on it already, and then you've got to figure out the lumps. Okay, now this piece is going to go right on the front. I wasn't sure what this is going to look like because I used the lighter one on my last one, so you'll have to tell me which one you like. And I'll put dimensionals on the back. Oh my goodness. My dimensionals stuck together, so now I have dimensional edging all over the place. All right, so we're going to put the dimensionals on there, and we're going to put that right on the front, in the middle, just like this. It doesn't matter, this pattern can go this way or this way, so it doesn't necessarily matter which direction it's going. All right, so that gives us the green between. This could have easily been an old olive card. It could have been pretty peacock. I could have used multiple colors, but since my original sample was shaded spruce, that's what I went with. And then I'm going to put this one on here. And I'm going to do that with dimensionals also. I'm going to use some of the strips. I'm going to choke my husband. I told him when he came back from being out that I would be on my live here, and he's making all kinds of ruckus in the background. So I apologize for that. I try. All right. Anyway, like I said, I hope that you are watching, that you're able to see what I'm doing, your comments, and I promise that I will comment on those later, because usually let me try to back out all the way and see if I can see comments before I stop talking. No, I'm not sure what the story is. It shows that I have 8 comments and I can see 0 of them. So hang in there. I promise I'll get back to you. All right, I'm gonna put this kind of over here. And then I needed bling because, you know, every card deserves a little bit of bling, but I couldn't decide which bling to use. There is snowflakes that go with this particular, with the suite, but I remembered that the holly berry leaves, not leaves, the berries, oh my goodness, that the berries are still current. And look, there's the berries on these little snowflakes. So I decided to drag those back out because, you know, why wouldn't I use what I have here? And I'm gonna use those instead. So I'm gonna put my holly berries right onto my snowflake instead of the snowflake gems. But then I might have to pretend like they actually go somewhere. And then let's put in, I don't want to cover up that one, but that kind of draws in that there's 3 sets of berries. Let's go with just a single one. Maybe right up here. Let me think about this. And obviously, I'm not going to ask you for help because I can't see your comments, which is really a bummer. Really a bummer. I'm not sure. Facebook is so cantankerous sometimes. All right, we're going to go right there. All right, so we have 3 sets of holly berries on there. All right, so this is the one we made today, and this is my original my original sample with the lighter designer series paper that also matches the suite. This needs to move because that's going to bug me that those are kind of in a line. So I will move that. But there's our 2 cards for today, or my 1 card. And I will put those measurements on, yes, I will, on the bottom, in the comments, in the description. I will put those there, along with what I used and the traditional labels, stamp set, and dies. And tomorrow, I think I said 7:30. Let's do tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Let's just make it an even 7 o'clock, because we don't have anything else tomorrow night. I won't be running home from soccer or anything. So I will put that, I will post that 7 o'clock tomorrow. And actually, if you are interested, at 1:30 tomorrow, I will be doing Lunch with Lori, my weekly online class. So you are welcome to join me for that. So tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. here live. I will see all of you back here tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.